Good afternoon, dear students. I hope everyone is safe and sound. Today we're going to talk about the story called The Magic Garden of the Poor. So, first of all, what's going to be the aims of our lesson? Let's look at the aims. So, the first aim is to predict the content of the text. Secondly, to listen and repeat for the specific information. And the third aim is going to be to consolidate new vocabulary. So apparently we're going to have some new vocabulary in the story, and I would like you to remember all these words by heart. And I pronounce the words, and you please repeat after me. Shepherd. Бақташы, пастух. Disaster struck. Апат басталды, разорилась катастрофа. Hesitate. Ойланып тұрып қалу. Колебаться. Wise. Ақылгөй, дана, мудрый. Seeds. Тұқымдар, семена. Pass by. Жанынан өту. Проходить мимо. Spring up. Пайда болу, возникать. Far and wide. Алыс әрі шалғай. Далеко и широко. Slam shut. Тарс еткізу. Хлопнуть. Pass the message. Хабарламаны жіберу. Передать сообщение. And the last phrase is was supposed to. Тиіс еді, должен был. So now we're going to watch the whole story. I want to give a quick reminder that this video is going to last for 4 minutes, almost for 4 minutes. That's why I would like you to be concentrated, to remember all the words, and to remember all the small details of this story. So let's watch this story.
The Magic Garden of the Poor. Long ago, there were two friends. One was a farmer, and the other was a shepherd. One day, disaster struck, and a terrible disease killed the shepherd's sheep. His friend, the farmer, didn't hesitate to help. He gave half his land to the shepherd so that he could become a farmer too. While the shepherd was digging in his new fields, he found a chest full of gold. He took it to the farmer. "You are rich, my friend," he said. "I found this gold on your land." "Ah," replied the farmer, "but it is your land now, so you are the rich one." The two men could not agree, so they took their problem to a wise man. The wise man asked his students what to do. The first said that the shepherd found the gold in the ground, so he should put it back in the ground. The second said that the men brought the gold to the wise man, so it should belong to the wise man. The third said that the ground was part of the nation, which belonged to the Khan, so they should give the gold to the Khan. The wise man didn't like any of these answers, so he turned to the last student. "I think because neither the farmer nor the shepherd wants the gold, we should use it to make a garden for poor people, where they can come to rest and find food." "An excellent idea," cried the wise man, and the farmer and the shepherd agreed. "As it was your idea," he added, addressing the student, "you can go to the city and buy the seeds, and I will give you them." So the student left for the city. He was on his way to buy the seeds when he saw a caravan of camels passing by. It carried hundreds of birds, all tied upside down by their feet. The student felt so sorry for the birds that he offered to buy them at once. He gave the camel driver all the gold. Then he set the birds free, and they flew into the sky. He turned and left for home. But when he saw the land where he was supposed to plant the seeds, he fell to the ground. "What have I done?" he cried. "I have failed in my task. I was supposed to bring seeds to make a beautiful garden, but I spent all the gold on setting the birds free." But a flying by heard the student's cries, and they passed the message to others. Then, from every corner of the land, birds came carrying the seeds of every kind. They planted them on the wise man's land, and a beautiful garden sprang up. Poor people came from far and wide to eat the amazing fruit that grew there, and at night, the ones who had homes to go to slept peacefully under the trees. Rich people too heard about this amazing place, and they travelled for days to see it. When they arrived, however, the gates slammed shut, and the walls grew higher. The garden possessed a strange magic, and no one could enter except those who needed help.
Okay, guys, I hope you've remembered as much detail as you can. And now let's do some activities regarding this story. So there are 3 questions, and let's read and try to remember the plot of the story. So first one, the shepherd didn't want the gold because A, he thought it didn't belong to him. B, he believed the farmer needed it more. And C, he thought it was rich enough. He thought he was rich enough already. Try to think and try to remember what answer will suit in this case. So if you chose the answer A, you're right. Yes, because he thought it didn't belong to him. That's why they went to the Khan. Yes. Then question number 2. The student bought the birds because A, he thought the garden would look better with the birds. B, he cared more about the birds than the garden. And C, it upset him to see how the camel driver treated them, meaning the birds. So you have a couple seconds and try to guess, try to memorize, try to remember the plot of the story. And again, if you chose the answer C, you're right, you're correct. Let's have a look at the question number 3. Which best describes the meaning of this folk tale? If you tell a lie, you will lose everything you have. B, if you try to do good, others will help you. And C, if you fail once, there are no second chances. What do you think? What is the correct answer? Yes? The correct answer is B. If you're trying to do good, others will help you. Life like a boomerang, and what goes around comes all the way back around. There is a saying, yes? Let's go on. Yes, we see the answers A in 1, C in 2, B in 3. And there is another task for you. Imagine you are a farmer, and there is such a question: if you were the farmer, would you take the gold shepherd found? If you say yes, why? And if you say no, again it's why. So there are 2 options to answer this question, but of course you can answer in your own way. So the answer A: if I were the farmer, I would take the gold. Farmers usually don't have much money, and they don't know when their crops will fail. It's true. We know that in autumn some farmers face troubles with hail, sometimes with strong winds, and they may face these problems. That's why it's this answer makes sense. Answer B. Well, if I were the farmer, I would share the money with the poor. It's always good to help others when you can. If you chose the similar answer to this, I hope you have soft heart, and your community, your city, your country can be proud of you. Let's go on. So there is another task regarding the story. Here we have fill in the gaps, and we are given five words. They are struck, passed, said, failed, and slammed. If you remember, at the beginning of the lesson, we learned these words and tried to remember those words. So, number one, the student wanted to the birds free. What do you think is answer? The correct answer is set. So the student wanted to set the birds free, meaning they wanted the birds to fly freely. And question number two. When the rich people tried to get inside, the gates of the garden shut. The correct answer is slammed. Slammed shut, meaning the gates closed totally, like fully. The next question. The student noticed the birds when the caravan of camel, let's see, passed by. Yes? The meaning of pass by, to go next to something or to go next to someone. The shepherd was successful until disaster. We have left two options. The first one is struck. The second one is failed. What do you think is answer? The answer is struck. So the shepherd was successful until disaster struck, meaning until the disaster began. And the last one, apparently, the last left word, failed, yes. And let's read and let's immerse into the meaning. The student was upset because he thought he had failed in his task, meaning he didn't completed his task given by his master. So let's go on. Let's go to the next task. Here you see the diagram called spidergram. Why do we call this spidergram as a spidergram? Because there are threads which connects all the boxes, like in the web of a spider. So here you have to find these informations from the text, from the story. Life lessons, morals and values, what the story wants to teach us, and what people were involved in this story as ordinary people, and like supernatural elements, what unusual phenomenon occurred in this story. Try to remember, and what human problems did people have in this tale. So if you remembered, let's check the correct answers. So the lesson, the morals and values the story wanted to teach us: when you help someone, they will help you when you are in need. So everything comes to you. And ordinary people. For the ordinary people in this fairy tale, we know they were farmer, shepherd, wise man, students, and camel driver. And the unusual things happened in the story are supernatural elements were finding a chest full of gold, which doesn't happen in our everyday life, not every day, not always. And birds bringing seeds from all over the world. It's also like religious thing, yeah. And gates slamming shut on their own. We know if the door is not programmed, it can be slammed by itself. That's why it is a supernatural, unusual thing. Then human problems. There were two problems. First was disaster connected with the disease killed the shepherd's sheep. And the second one is poverty. Poor people who have nowhere to rest and nothing to eat. Okay, if you found all these things, if you remembered all these things, good for you. And let's finalize our lesson. And we should say that in every folk and every fairy tale, there is a structure. There is a plot which is always followed in every fairy tale. For example, at the beginning of the story always starts with the phrase like "once upon a time," or to a similar phrase can be met in the story. The second one, there's always in the fairy tale just ordinary simple people like woodcutter or a fisherman and so on. The next, there's always a problem which get interested people in reading the story, like family problems, poverty, and there's always supernatural elements like talking foxes, talking animals, or goose that lays golden eggs, and so on. And at the end of the story, we always learn something new, some lessons, some morals, and some values which we need in our personal life, such as share your. For example, in our tradition, there's always for example, share your good fortune with others. Like you have to share with your belongings to someone, then you will be given extra of that. And let's conclude our lesson. So in today's lesson, we've learned lots of things, I guess. First of all, we've predicted the content of the text. Then we've listened and read for the specific information and consolidated the new vocabulary we studied today. So boys and girls, this is the end of our lesson. I hope you liked our lesson, and I wish you all the best. See you next time.